a close friend of his, Eftehea Meli.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to take the opportunity, first of all, to thank two amazing ladies, Orpheus and Spiliotopoulos, on behalf of all of us, because they put in so much hard work. Thank you for your hard work and your successful effort to bring us all together to meet and mingle and inspire each other. We really appreciate you, ladies. Thank you. I have a cool story to share with you. Years ago, like a lot of us, a young man arrived from Greece, all alone, to pursue his wildest dream, with no support, or meso, like we Greeks like to call it. He lived in a very, very small apartment in Hollywood, and he tried so hard to break into the industry for a very long time, but nothing. No work, no offers, no career. With very little money left in the bank, he had a really big choice to make. Either go back to Greece and become a tour guide, or stick around and bear the hardship. He chose the latter, and he started looking for work at the McDonald's and Carl's Jr. in his neighborhood. Fast forward, 10 years later, after a lot of hard work, persistence, patience, and talent, we're in the beautiful Budapest on a $110 million movie. Sets of thousands of acres, massive talent like Dwayne Johnson, John Hurt, Ian McShane, 4,000 cast and crew, spending $425,000 a day. As we were walking through the set for the first time, I turned to him and I said, "Evan, this is your movie." And it hit him literally at that moment, and he said, "This is my movie." So, like little kids in a candy store, we rushed out to experience everything and take in every single detail. There were hundreds of extras pretending to be dead bodies, an entire burned village, a bunch of dead fake horses, real horses, Hercules' muscles. Several weeks later, when the temperature hit 130 degrees, and the air was full of smoke and ash from that burned village, and some of the extras literally almost passing out, the conversation and attitude completely changed to, "Evan, you and your movie." And Evan replying, "I'm sorry." So from that point on, we just started leaving early. Seriously though, the entire experience was absolutely magical. Then there was Huntsman, then Beauty and the Beast, and then a bunch of other projects that I'm really tempted, but I'm not allowed to mention yet. I know there's a lot of Greeks, successful Greeks in this room, but just for tonight, please allow me to refer to Evan Spiliotopoulos as the most inspiring example that you can start from zero and be anything you want to be. Here's a little taste of what I'm talking about.
And action! Da-da-da!
One word to describe Evan as a person. Sure.
Hold tight, okay? This could be a bumpy ride.
Adios. He's a saint.
I don't get it.
If I had to pick one word to describe Evan as a person, it would be generous.
Thank you so much.
I have millions of words to describe him, but I'm going to go with very simple and clean, brilliant.
One word to describe him as a professional writer: collaborative.
Inventive.
Meticulous.
It's hard for me to pick a character to describe Evan as, but I remember a story years ago. He went to a meeting with 5, 6, 7 producers who all had notes. And when he left the meeting, he called me and he said while he was in that meeting, he felt like Robert De Niro in the Russian roulette scene in Deer Hunter.
Oh dear.
Probably Pumbaa from Lion King. He just has this energy and spirit where no matter what happens, he just always feels good about things.
If Evan Spiliotopoulos were a movie character, he would be Hercules, played by Dwayne Johnson, the most famous Greek character of all. And the scene would be when Hercules breaks out of the chains, because nothing can hold Evan back. He is unstoppable.
The last thing Evan would do would be have a great meal.
Well, whatever it was, it ain't my honey.
A very expensive, indulgent dinner at a Michelin-rated restaurant.
Evan would be eating a full sea urchin. He would be eating uni with his fingers, with the biggest smile on his face.
What?
If Evan were the galactic leader of this planet, all planets, the universe, the solar system,
King Triton ruled the seas with a fair hand.
If he was leader for one day, the first thing he would do is ask the question, why only one day?
He would outlaw all air travel. Hates flying.
he would make a toast, raise a glass of ouzo, and make everyone join him in a cheers to health and to good life.
The greatest treasures are not gold, nor jewels, nor works of art. They're held within your heart.
Shake, shake, shake some more. Shake the body down. Shake, shake, shake some more. Shake it all the time. Ouch. Fire that ship! Time to go? Return fire!
Ladies and gentlemen, Evan Spiliotopoulos.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Eftehea, for the beautiful introduction, and thank you, LA Greek Film Festival. I did not set out to become a writer. Things just sort of worked out that way. But I can tell you exactly when it all began. I was 13 years old in junior high school in Greece. The class was Eftehea, composition. And one day, for the first time ever, our teacher gave us free subject. We could write anything we wanted. My classmates and friends concentrated on things like what they did on their summer vacation, people they admired, goals they had for after school, grounded subjects taken from their lives. I wrote a completely fictional piece about an immigrant in 1920 who comes after years abroad back to his hometown of Yanina and finds that the land and he himself have changed in ways that he had not anticipated. I have no idea where that came from. I was not interested in the 20s. I had never been to Yanina, and deep existential subjects were not exactly on the front of a 13-year-old boy's mind at the time. But I kept writing, and one page turned into 3, then 6, then a dozen. My first short story was born. A few days later, our teacher returned our papers. She had given me a good grade, but she had also written something in the margins. I read what I thought were going to be words of encouragement, and I can still hear her voice today saying, "Βάλε χαλινάρι στη φαντασία σου." Rough translation, get a hold of your imagination. I chose not to follow her advice. And because of that decision, I'm here today. So I would like to leave you with this. Never let anyone tell you that you should not dream. We are fortunate to be part of an industry, a profession, and an art form that cherishes dreams and is fueled by creativity. And when I see the talent in this room, when I see friends of mine like Spiliotopoulos and Eftehea Meli, industry leaders like Carrie and Thomas, and the award winners tonight, I'm humbled to be included in this company, and I am deeply honored by this award. Thank you.